Sir has joined. So we shall start the program now. Good evening, everybody. And today, the Department of Information Technology of this university will be starting the Students Entrepreneurship Training Program. Today is the orientation session, and we will be having 12 such sessions in which there will be one session per week, and each session will be covering topics on robotics, data science, artificial intelligence, uh, Android app development, then digital media marketing, and so on. So this training will be provided by a startup company called Think Again Lab, and uh, and thank you all. I thank all the students and participants. We already have 509 participants till now, and it is increasing. So I hope it will be a great session, a great learning session for all of us. And now to begin with the session, I would like to request Honorable VC Sir to please say something and inaugurate the session.
Thank you. I'm really happy to see this very timely and apt endeavor taken by Department of Information Technology. And I was continuously advising all of our faculty members and various departments to start a program like this for the benefit of all of our students. And you have organized it for the first time amongst in the university system. This is a nice thing, and I'm really happy. And I came to know that this will be one of the session where many of our students, they will be getting a chance to learn how to use IT-based knowledges and related knowledges for developing entrepreneurships, or becoming a budding entrepreneurs, which is now a need for the entire country. We need to produce large numbers of entrepreneurs, numbers of job givers instead of job seekers. Time and again at various forums, all our these important personalities, they are preaching these ideas that we need to produce this these job givers to eliminate the problems of this unemployment and this economic growth and development for the entire country. And the opportunity now is abundant because of this advancement of all these emerging technologies, because of this advancement of IT related different areas. So this new horizon has been created and opened up for giving the students entirely different career options and career avenues. And here, this, if you can acquire a right set of knowledge, skill, and ability, then you can, we are at the top of the world. And that's why, this, but what is lacking? Lacking is the only thing which is lacking, that is our mindset. We need to, have more confidence and self-reliance. We need to have the feeling of, this understanding that we can take up, this massive entrepreneurial activity in an integrated manner, this equipping ourselves with the right set of knowledge, skill, and abilities. And here, Think Again Lab, and I'm very happy that Mr. Orijit Hajra, I'm right? Oh, so
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
he has kindly consented to be a part of our this journey, to share the knowledges and experiences what they are having for the benefit of our student communities. Initially, it was planned that it will be a departmental program, but when I saw this, there are many areas where students of different departments can be benefited. So I requested the head of IT department to make it, this open for the benefit of other departmental students, for students of other departments of this university. Anindita Das I I know that you were, this the mastermind, or you were instrumental in organizing this. Very good. This is a nice thing, and we believe that in near future you will be contributing in this way for the growth and development of this department and of the university as well. Now, out of this exercise, if we can generate numbers of entrepreneurs, then all our endeavors will be successful, will be considered to be successful. So with this, I wish a happy learning and effective learning session for all the participants or the student participants who are present over here. I can assure them that there will be no doubt in our effort in taking up these types of training programs, in bringing persons like Arijit Hajra, these organizations like Think Again Lab, time and again for your benefit. Now, you have to come forward to take up the mission of being, these job givers, successful entrepreneurs for taking this country ahead. Thank you all. I am requesting Head IT Department to continue this session. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for your encouraging words and guidance. I would now like to request Anindita to please take this session forward.
Thank you, sir, for your kind words. I'm honored. So let's begin with the session. Good evening. Greetings to all. I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to Honorable VC Sir and HOD Madam IT Department for their vision on the need of entrepreneurship education. As this benefits students from all socioeconomic backgrounds by teaching them to think out of the box and nurture unconventional talents and skills. And I would like to extend my warm wishes to Think Again Lab for their sincere efforts. Think Again Lab will be conducting a webinar series on industry orientation program in collaboration with Department of Information Technology, Maulana Abul Kalam Azad University of Technology. This is a 12-week long program with one session per week, catering to different aspects of 21st century technologies. Today, we will have the orientation program followed by robotics, data science, graphics designing, artificial intelligence and machine learning, web development, web designing and UI UX, rocket science and space technologies, digital media marketing, Android app development, Flutter-based app development, online reputation management, and also Think Again Lab will groom to be interview ready. So let me now introduce you to the CEO of Think Again Lab, Mr. Arijit Hajra, who has been appointed as an official mentor of Change by ATL NITI Ayog, Government of India for Atal Innovation Mission. And he is one of my students, and it is my great pleasure to welcome him. So, with permission from Honorable VC Sir and HOD Madam IT Department, I would like to hand over this webinar to Mr. Arijit Hajra. Welcome, Arijit.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much, VC sir. Thank you so much, HOD ma'am. It's obviously a pleasure as well as it's need of the hour that people like us can come forward and give whatever we have learned throughout the process of entrepreneurship during these last 4 or 5 years. Because like yesterday, I was having a session and where I was asked that what do you think what will be happen with India after 20 or 22 years? So I said, I cannot say this because it's a function of all the thinking of youths right now. So if we are having like 30 crore youths in India, and if we can accumulate whatever they are thinking at this point of time, that what will going to happen with them after 20 years, that will the average result will be happen with India, because it's all of India is not a living being, it's a collection of people, it's a collective noun. So in that regard, if the universities and the startup world, the industry can amalgam together and can create courses and curriculum that can really be helpful for them to being a plug and play ready with the industry. Because if we are trying to solve real world problems, then we have to solve question paper of future rather than previous years. So because the problems are changing every day, and if we are not learning these new technologies that's coming to the industry domain, and it's not possible every time to create a course out of it in university, because the whole process of creating courses, putting into the curriculum, it's very difficult because it's a huge system, and molding and folding a system is very difficult. But still, HOD ma'am, Anindita ma'am, VC sir is putting out their time and giving us opportunity to do this kind of events in association with the Department of Information and Technology. And I hope this is going to become a very big changes in the whole education system, as well as the students who are. So if we think from the perspective of the students, when we are in college, this 4 year was the most funniest time, the time we understand how to network with people, how to talk to people, and those were physical. Now all of a sudden, because of this pandemic and COVID and all this kind of stuff, everything happening online. So it's not about only deteriorating the educational aspect, as well as the mental and physical aspect as well, that people are not going to colleges, not going out of their home. So if we can, if they couldn't reach to the college or the university should reach to them. And I hope this initiative of Department of Information Technology is one of that kind of initiative. And thank you so much for bringing us on the board and giving us the opportunity to do this kind of session. And I personally take all the sessions, and I hope we can give our 1000% back to the university and the students. That can really be helpful. So should we start with the session? All the things, like I will talk about the things, or the students will ask questions?
I think you can start in between.
Start, and the students, they can put the questions at the question answer session or chat box, and afterwards the session you can take up some of the questions.
Sure, sir. Sure. Thank you so much. So first we need to understand that we are talking about 21st century skills, 21st century industry. So what changed? Why actually all the things we are learned? Because all the professors, all the HOD, all the VCSers of all the colleges are trying. Obviously, they are trying their level best to get all the students to the industry. But somewhere something was missing, that it's not amalgaming. Few people are getting the job, but few people couldn't, because it's not about the unemployability, it's about the actually it's about the unemployability rather than the unemployment. So there are jobs, but the sectors, or not only the job, innovation, research, entrepreneurship. If you want to do entrepreneurship, we need to understand that why we need to go through these 12 sessions to become an entrepreneur or innovator or freelancer. We need to know the why, because if we don't know the why, then we couldn't get the maximum output of these sessions. The why is, what is entrepreneurship? Is it starting up a business? Is it earning money? Is it selling certain things? Absolutely no. And it's not always, it's absolutely my thought process that it's not always, if you want to be entrepreneur, you have to open up your own business. It's not like that. Business is business. An entrepreneur can be a businessman, an entrepreneur can be an innovator, an entrepreneur can be a freelancer. So what is entrepreneurship? Entrepreneurship is a mindset, a lifestyle through which you are using your acquired knowledge to solve problems. Now, when we are talking about problems, what kind of problem is this? These problems are daily life problems of 150 crore people or 700 crore people, right? Whatever they are facing, because we engineers are here to solve the problems of human being to make their life easier. Now, if every day the problem statements are changing according to the change of the environment, the socio-economic conditions, so the process, the technologies, the ways we are using to solve those problems needs to be changed. And if we think that the whole system will change over a night, it's not possible. It's not possible for anybody. We are only thinking about ourselves. That's why we may complain at certain point of time that why it's not changing, why it's not modified. We have to understand from the top down approach that how big the system is. And if it needs to be changed, we have to put our everybody's small effort in it. And our effort will be to understand how the industry is changing, what new things are coming into the picture. And if you are into IT or computer science and electronics, in all these domains, you can cope up with all the new trendy technologies, and you don't need to enroll for another courses or another degree courses to understand those things. Like I don't have a master's degree, I don't have a PhD degree, I'm not certified robotics engineer, but I built the Eastern India's first 6-feet high robot. So it's not about whether the system is changing, it's about whether we are changing or not, because we is nothing but a summation of all the I's in India, right? So in that regard, we have to understand it's not our duty to change the we, it's our duty to change the I. If everybody is changing the I, the we needs to be changed, it will be changed, right? It's an inherent process because it's a cumulative noun. So in that regard, we have come up with a very small chunk of technology. It's not the end, it's not an exhaustive list. There are several other things. I personally work on 23 technologies, so there are, and we are only discussing about 12 technologies right now, but it's a pilot program. We have to understand whether we are actually making a wonderful, valuable insight about the time you are giving to us, and whether we are absolutely can deliver whatever we are thinking, and whether it's a beneficial for you, because it's all about you. We all are doing this thing. HOD ma'am, VC sir, Anindita ma'am, we all are putting effort for you guys. We don't have any interest in this thing. Our interest is, if you guys are learning new things, you guys are solving problems, our nation is going to change tomorrow. And at that point of time, we can take a very small pie of it, that we have contributed 0.0001% in that change. That is what we are going to get out of it. And so let's get into the topic, like what is this industry orientation program? So what we're trying to do, we are not only focusing on how to build the startup, that is part of this session, but what we are focusing on, if you want to become an innovator, if you want to become a freelancer, if you want to become an entrepreneur, how to do that thing. Along with the technological needs, technological domain, you need to have knowledge about to build product or services or start up, do innovations or start your own business, right? Because why I'm again and again saying that entrepreneurship is not always about doing a business, being a CEO or something like that, because entrepreneurship is a personality trait. And there is a term called intrapreneur. That means if you are within an organization and solving problems and doing innovations, then you will be called entrepreneur. So entrepreneur is also an entrepreneur. So it's not about like you always need to go and open up your own business. If everybody is open up their own business, then who will work with them? So it's a team game. So if somebody is opening a business, he needs a team. We are having 5 fingers in our hand. That's why you can hold certain things. So a team, a company is like that. So it's not about only having management skills, how to create the business plan, how to create the business model canvas, how to pitch to investors. You also need people who are building the product. You also need the people who are doing the accounts. So it's a whole team game. And in this particular webinar series, we are focusing on the technical part, that whether you can get the knowledge about, and it's not like that we are going to teach you everything about those technologies. That's quite impossible. I don't want to give you any fake commitment. What we are trying to do, we are trying to give you a perspective, that from which perspective you should look to robotics, you should look to data science. What is the need of these things? How we can implement these things to solve our real life problem? Because at the day's end, the most important thing is solving problem. If you're solving problem, you will eventually make money. But if you're only trying to make money, maybe you are not solving problems. So it's important to understand that entrepreneurship is not about making money. Entrepreneurship is all about doing problem solving. Why? Because when you are going to start, you are not actually earning any penny in your first year, second year, because you have to build a team, you have to pay them, you have to keep the good gray matters with you. And they will only stay with you when you are actually giving them what they deserve. And at that point of time, if you're thinking about your salary, the amount of money you are going to get into your bank account, it will just collapse. Because business or an organization is like a tree. So if we are just putting a seed and a plant is coming out of it, and it just bear one fruit, and we are just cutting that fruit out and eating it, the tree will die eventually. So in mango farming, there is a, I'm not a farmer, but still I have this information. I don't know how much it's correct or wrong. In mango farming, the farmers don't let the tree bear fruits for 2 to 3 years, so that the stems got very thicken and it gets that kind of resources that it can use to produce more fruits. So doing a business is absolutely like that. So if we are not using the resources that we are getting from our business to grow the business in the initial days, it's very difficult to sustain for a longer period of time. I am saying all these things because I am a bootstrap startup. I am not a funded startup. And we are working with NASA Space Up Challenge. We are working with ISRO. Recently, we are going to have MOU with Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Foundation for doing space-related courses in all over India. We are working with Space App India. So we have done all these things with customers' money, with problem-solving money. It's not investors' money. So I also think that many of you would also like to start from zero money. Because why zero money? Because there is a very bad concept in the ecosystem, specifically those students who are trying to become entrepreneurs, that if I am having a business plan in my presentation, I will show it to somebody and they will give me a box of money. It's not the reality. It's not going to happen. If you have this mindset, this needs to be changed right now. Because I am just making you as an investor. Suppose you are a student, you are an investor, right? You have 1 crore rupees in your pocket. Now, suppose I am coming to you and some person B is coming to you. I am saying you that give me that 1 crore rupees. Why? Because I have created 10 lakhs rupees out of 0 rupees by selling this kind of things. If you give me 1 crore, if you give me 1 crore rupees, I will utilize it in this proper way and make it 10 crore, because I have done it before and I have made 10 lakhs out of zero money. Now somebody is coming to you that I have a business plan. It's absolutely going to work. If you give me 1 crore, I will give you 100 crore. Whom you are going to trust? Obviously me, because I have proven it. I have something to show that I have the product, I have sold it to people, market have accepted it, and somebody is coming only with a business presentation. So it's not going to work. So bootstrap is a pre-inherent process of any kind of startup. So if you are thinking that straight out of college, you will build a startup and you will become a millionaire within 1 year, it's not going to happen. So break the ice glass and try to get to the reality. That struggle is to the supreme. I have to sleep on the roads for 10 days in the December of month in Kolkata. And what made me what I am today, I'm not very big, but whatever I have achieved, that I didn't went back to the comfortable food plate served by my mom in my hometown. I stayed over here, slept with the beggars in different places in Kolkata, just to prove it that I am not going to surrender to the conditions. Conditions need to surrender to me. And that's what gave me the opportunity to do whatever kind of thing. So when I have started, many people said me that you are starting and you are not talking about money, you are not earning that much of money. So what is success to you? If you're not earning millions of money, then you can go and do a job, because I have rejected Google's job offer in my second year and all this kind of stuff. So at that day, I didn't give any answer. But the day I don't know whether VC sir remember it or not. So in 2019, we met at Science City in the West Bengal Science Congress. And our robot was also displayed over there. So there are several other VC sirs of different universities like Koilani Government, Bardhaman University, and all the VC sirs are working all together, and the robot was just moving around them. So the VC sirs showed all the other VC sirs that see the robot, and it is made by a student of our university. So this is success. This can give you that goosebumps, that inspiration that millions of dollars couldn't give you. And we won the competition. We got the best innovator award in that competition, and that was also delivered by VC sir. And till today, I didn't change my DP in Facebook. I have the DP with VC sir itself. So this thing is actually my paychecks, and that which actually inspires me. And this is one of the incidents. There are several other incidents happened with me, happening till now. And that's what's giving me inspiration, not money. Because if you are 20 to 30 years of age, if you're chasing money, you have to chase money for your lifetime. But if you're chasing innovations, if you're chasing something which is fruitful, which you love to do in 20 to 30 years of age, money will chase you till your deathbed. That's how things happen. Right now, if I don't think about savings account because I don't have it, whatever I get, I invest. I don't think about my family planning, what will happen after my marriage, because we have the whole life to do this thing. But this 20 to 30, this 10, 15 years is to build the foundation on top of which you are going to build your whole house, right? So we have to think in that manner. Secondly, we are talking about job seeker and job creator. Is it like that if I am opening a business, then only I am a job creator or something like that? And even if we are going to a company, we all are job seekers. It's not like that. These terms are a little bit not literal terms, right? So what is a job seeking mentality and what is a work seeking mentality? I say everybody that even if you couldn't become a job creator, become a work seeker, not a job seeker. How? Suppose there are two persons, one is a person A, person B. Person A is a job seeker. He went to an interview. He said, give me 20,000 rupees, मुझे घर चलाने के लिए वो पैसा लगेगा, and give me any kind of work, I will do. I have a BTech degree, I can do any kind of work, right? This is job seeking. You want to become a servant, you don't know what you love to do. You don't know what is your capabilities, what is your skill set. Maybe you have a skill set which worth 40,000 rupees, but as because you underestimated your own self, the companies will cheat you, give you 20,000 rupees because you don't know the value of your own skills. On the other hand, person B, who is a work seeker, he will enter the same interview room, same company, go and show the CV that I have done these projects, I have learned these technologies, I have done internships, so I know, suppose I know web designing with React.js. If you have any project on this, I will charge 25,000 rupees and I can do the job. This is work seeking mentality. He is finding work, not a job, because usko pata hai what is his or her skill and how much that deserve. So it's very important to understand how to analyze yourself. We in MBA, I don't did a MBA, but I went to IIT for doing entrepreneurship courses and all those kind of stuff. So there we taught SWOT analysis, strength, weakness, opportunity, threats. And we told that we have to do SWOT analysis for businesses, but it's not true. We have to do SWOT analysis of our own self as well, because we are our biggest business. If we couldn't invest on ourselves, if we couldn't get revenue out of ourselves, then we couldn't be any owner of any business or whatever kind of thing we are doing in life. So in that regard, we have to do our SWOT analysis. What is our strength? What is our weakness? How to convert the weakness into strength? How to convert threat into opportunities? And that can only be possible when you are actually consciously living the life rather than only just spending certain days on earth. And it's very needed to understand that I am doing engineering in IT. Why? What I want to become? Which company I want to get into? Which domain I want to get into? Whether I have enough skills to work in that domain. Like every day, minimum 150 to 200 messages I receive, written one particular sentence, sir, chakri ache. Now, I am not an employment exchange. If you don't say that I have these skills, I can do this work, how can I say amar kache chakri ache ki nahi? Karon ami to jani na which kind of chakri can really be helpful for you. And I stopped replying that thing because I got bored. Everybody sending same message. But on the other hand, if some student whom I don't know even just send me few GitHub links or few certain videos that I have built this robot, I personally call them and talk to them, not my HR department or any kind of people, because I understood that this kind of people I'm looking for. I am looking for people who can innovate, who are not robots in human body. And if you are becoming robots in a human body, then you cannot become an engineer, because engineering is not a study, it's not a BTech degree, it's a lifestyle where we are understanding how to do things in overnight, how to learn things overnight, how to implement those things in a very short amount of time to solve Earth's problem. See, now if we had COVID-19, right? If this SRM technology or whoever has came up with the vaccine, if they say that we have to go for 3 years training, we learn how to build vaccine for COVID and then come back and build the vaccine, how it will look like? It will not be true. They have to do it overnight, because real life problems are like that. It's not organizers that we are having only previous year questions, and engineering is not like that. We have to give viva, we have to do the assignments, we have to do the seminar, we have to do the semester. But at the day's end, why we are doing it? We have to understand that we are becoming engineers. We are not less than superheroes. Our responsibility is to build things, create things. And how we can understand that? If we take any innovation, it starts from art. Like we build helicopter, but who has created the helicopter? Leonardo da Vinci in 1639 or something like that. And it's an art form. At that point of time, we were not having enough technological resources or scientific resources through which we can really implement those thought processes. But after few hundred years, we come up, our technology got increased, our skills got increased, and we validated those images with scientific principles. So the innovation is starting with arts, then validated by scientific people, the scientists, researchers, and it got implemented by whom? Engineers. So we engineers are the creator of this world. Whatever we can see in front of us, the laptop, the mobile, whatever you are seeing, it's nothing but a replication, a tangible implementation of the thought process we are having in our brain. So we always have to start engineering in a way that what we are going to solve. Every day, what new we are learning. And this is the first step of being an entrepreneur. Because when we'll get into entrepreneurship, from outside, it seems to be very cool. That somebody is having CEO card, people are giving respect, people are saying, sir. But the day you will going to sit on the chair, every single millisecond, you have to face a new problem. So the biggest and one of the most important quality an entrepreneur or an engineer have, that is how they're tackling problems, how they're reacting to problems. Because an organization, a project, a product is collection of problem statements that we need to solve. We need to stitch together and pack in a packaging and send it to the customers or whoever it is. You will have problem with teams. You will have problem with funding. You will have problem with addresses, like where I can incorporate my company. You will have problem with marketing. You will have problem with customer support. But only one thing, one skill that will be helpful for you to solve all these problems, that is problem solving skill, finding patterns, right? And why I am saying patterns, because this whole universe is built upon patterns. And we all know about that pattern. Maybe few of them consciously know, few of them not consciously know. We call this pattern as Fibonacci series. Have anybody, the students, have you ever asked yourself that why we need to learn Fibonacci series in engineering? What is the implementation of Fibonacci series? If you say that to learn programming, we need to do patterns to understand the programming, then we have so many other patterns. We have Armstrong number, prime number, even number, odd number, several kind of patterns. Why Fibonacci series? Why it's important? Why we need to learn about Fibonacci series in engineering? If you ask this question, you will open an absolutely different dimension of perception in front of you. This Fibonacci series is responsible to create whatever you are seeing that the nature is creating, from a human being to an animal to a pond, sea, solar system, each and everything. Everything built upon golden ratio, that is a derivative of Fibonacci series. And as because we human being, we engineers are the creators, that's why we need to understand the nature's algorithm. So when I have started, I said I am a techno-spiritual entrepreneur. Many people didn't understand at the starting of my journey in 2016. So what is techno-spirituality? It's nothing related to religion. What I'm trying to say, that this nature is going with certain algorithms. If we can consciously derive those algorithms and implement those things into technology, we can build sustainable technologies. Because right now you can understand that we are creating a technology, and after 10 years down the line, we need to figure out new technology to eradicate the pollution created by that old technology. So it couldn't be a sustainable technology. That's why we are going into techno-spiritual technologies like solar power. We are from where we are getting the solar power from nature, wind energy, wave energy. So if you study about Nikola Tesla, if you study about Einstein, if you study about Elon Musk, you can understand that sustainability is in nature. So if we are building technologies which are going with the nature's algorithm, then only we can create sustainable technologies. And in that regard, if the nature is itself going with certain algorithms, certain patterns, then all the things in this nature is going in a pattern. And if we can recognize those patterns, we can understand how to predict the future. Let's take an example. And as because it's an orientation session, I am going through the topics of other sessions are small by small, so that you can teach all the things, how those things are related. Like we are talking about artificial intelligence, rocket science, robotics, Internet of Things, how these things are important, why these things are important, and why these things are becoming a buzzword in today's world. So let's take an example, right? So what artificial intelligence or data science or this kind of technology really do? So let's take an example from geography. If anybody can want to be interactive and want to send the answers in question answer or comment, that would be great. So what is Halley's comet? Have you anybody heard about Halley's comet? What is Halley's comet? Halley's dhumketu jake bole banglaয়, Halley's dhumketu. Okay, somebody is saying yes sir. So what is Halley's comet? Can you just write it down in a very small single words? Okay, yes, many people know about Halley's comet. So just write it down in very simple words. What is Halley's comet? Okay, so till then you are writing. I am just going into the topic. So it's seen after every 76 years. Fantastic. What I was looking for. So Halley's comet is a comet which we see after every 76 years. Fantastic. I will come back to this point. Just give me a preface of the whole story. So this data science, this machine learning, this artificial intelligence, this robotics, all these things are important to predict the future, to convert coincidence into incident. Now tell me, what is coincidence? What is coincident? Anybody? Okay. So suppose you are about to go to college. What happened by mistake? What occurs again and again? Meeting at a point. Fantastic, fantastic. You guys are very responsive. Thank you so much for being being responsive. Fine, fantastic. So coincidence. Let's take it multiple incidents relating by chance. Okay, fine. That chance is called synchronicity. Anyway, so let's get into the topic. Suppose you go to your college every day at a 9 a.m. bus, right? So you catch the bus on Monday. It's an incident because it's there is a pattern that every day on 9 a.m. you catch the bus. But somehow you met with 10-year-old friend in that bus. So it's a coincidence. But what we say that it's a coincidence. There is no pattern. But in chemistry we say that chaotic situations also has a pattern. And if chaotic situations also has a pattern, it means the whole universe, everything happening in the universe have a pattern. Then what is coincidence? Coincidence is an incident whose pattern is yet not deciphered. এখনো পর্যন্ত আমাদের কাছে প্যাটার্নটা নেই, এর মানে কিন্তু প্যাটার্ন নেই এরকম না, আমরা এখনো খুঁজে বার করতে পারিনি, we couldn't find it so far, but pattern is there, right? Let's take an example of this Halley's comet right now. Many people write Halley's comet is repeating short period come after 70 to 76 years. Now think you don't know about Halley's comet, right? And today a comet came to the earth. It's a coincidence because we don't have any pattern. Now some people gather data of consecutively 75 or 76 years, and from there they analyzed a particular incident is happening twice after every 76 years. You can imagine, they have the data of each and every day, every moment throughout 76 years, and they are getting a pattern, and that pattern is called a Halley's comet, right? So that's how we can convert coincident into incident with the help of data and data analysis and machine learning. I'm not getting into very technical details today, but I'm just trying to give you a very inspiring perspective about these technologies, that how interesting these technologies are and how we can predict the future. So if we get the pattern that Halley's Comet is going to repeat after every 76 years, suppose Halley's Comet came today, then we can predict that it's going to happen after 76 years. We can predict the future. That's how this industry, this data science, machine learning, robotics, IoT is so much of importance, because it can help us to predict the future. It sounds very sci-fi. Few people will think I am mad, but wait for 10 years. You can predict what is going to happen with you after 10 minutes. Maybe not 100% correct, but to some extent. How we are going to predict our moments, our future. So if we can gather data of our every moment, we can predict the future. Like we are having a few bands in our hand, health bands or something like that, and it is predicting that you can have a heart attack, your heartbeats are going in this direction or something like that. So what they're doing, they're actually collecting data from you, you don't know. We are already in the data loop. And if it's possible to collect data of each and every moment, then we can accurately predict the future with the help of machine learning and data science and artificial intelligence. That's how these things are important, and that's why companies and all these kind of people are going towards. Like with artificial intelligence, we can detect cancer at early age. Even right now, people are doing researches on genetics along with artificial intelligence to get that when a baby is taking birth, what is the probability of getting cancer from their ancestors, and treat him or her from the early age before even getting the cancer. In the agriculture field, we can put lots of sensors in the places so that we can get real-time data from the fields and guess which kind of crops can be good for that place, how much crop is going to grow at that place, so that we can uniformly spread or distribute the whole grown crops and foods to the whole country or the whole world. Because lack of food is not the problem. The problem is the ununiform distribution. बिकॉज कहीं पे जरूरत ज्यादा है, कम उग रहा है, कहीं पे उग ज्यादा रहा है, जरूरत कम है. ये जो अनयूनिफॉर्म डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन है, इसको भी कंट्रोल किया जा सकता है विद द हेल्प ऑफ IoT, robotics, machine learning, and all this kind of stuff. Now if you think about how these technologies are related, so these technologies are not different technologies. So I am not a superman that I can work on 23 technologies and I can do several kind of stuff or something like that. But how I can work on those topics, I got the pattern and I can get the relation between all these technologies. That's why I can work on all those technologies. I work on robotics, AI, and it's not like that I have done only one project and telling you that I am working on those technologies, but I have actually taught more than 20,000 students in 3 countries about all these technologies. And all the informations we are going to, all the sessions you are going to have is taken by me. And at that point of time, you can understand that I am not very much, but I am good enough knowledgeable on those domains to teach you, right? So in that regard, how I got to know about all these things and how I can work on all those fields, because I got the pattern and I got the connections of the dots, right? Which is helping me to work on all those technologies. And why I'm working on all those technologies, because when you are problem solver, you shouldn't be bound by technology limitations. कि मुझे ये प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करना है, ये तो AI से होता है, मुझे आता नहीं. मुझे ये प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करना है, ये तो रोबोटिक्स से होता है, मुझे आता नहीं. I don't want to feel like that helpless. That's why I am working with so many technologies so that I can solve problems, right? That's my point of view about life, that I can use my brain, my potentials as much as possible to solve problems of as many people as possible in this earth, right? That's my mission and vision. And why I have aligned myself with a vision of mission like this, because if you are aligning your mission and vision with money, what will happen? The financial cycle, the financial graph of your life is like a heartbeat. Kabhi upar jayega, kabhi niche jayega, kabhi upar jayega, kabhi niche jayega, in this way, right? And if you are attaching yourself with that graph, you will have a roller coaster ride throughout your life. But if you are aligning yourself with anything that is non-tangible, that is non-earthly, right? Like a mission, I am saying, like a mission Elon Musk have, that I want to die on Mars, right? So if you are aligning yourself, you are attaching yourself with this kind of mission and vision, then you are going to have a very wonderful journey throughout this life, right? That's my perspective about life. Now get back to the technological point of view. Like I was telling, that this is a whole conveyor belt. This all technology creates a conveyor belt where from this point we are putting coincidence and we are getting an incident in at the end, right? How we talk about the data science and machine learning, that this data science and machine learning get data from different places and try to get a pattern. But we can also get the pattern by our own eyes, right? We can understand that how this data is working or something like that. But what I am talking about, that's a billions of trillions of sizes of data, right? And as a human being, it's not possible for us to get the pattern with a bare eye. And if we can get a pattern with a bare eye in certain problem statement, then that is not a machine learning problem statement. When we apply machine learning, just let me show you a very basic thing. Just give me a second. In the it's opening. Yeah. So I hope everybody can see the whiteboard, right?
Yes, it is visible.
Yeah. So suppose we are having a problem statement like this, and we have plotted the data on a graph. It's a x-axis, it's a y-axis, right? Suppose it's a age and it's a height, right? It's a height axis, it's a age axis, right? And we have data of boys and girls and their age and height ratio, which are going to plot on this thing, right? Suppose we have a girl data like this, we have a girl data like this, we have a girl data like this, and we have a boys data in this way, right? So if I ask you that you have to classify the whole problem statement into two parts, one is boys and girls, what you will do, you will simply draw a straight line, that is called a linear function, which can separate these two things, right? And for this thing, you don't need to take help of machine learning. But what if the problem statement, after plotting, we can see that the problem statement is behaving like this, which couldn't be separated with a very simple polynomial function. So in that regard, what we need to do, we need to take help of machine learning to find that complex polynomial algorithm which can classify this thing. Now, this is not the end. Classify is one of the problem statement of machine learning. We have regression algorithm, we have neural network, we have genetic algorithm, we have predictions. So I'm not getting into everything. I'm just letting you understand that this machine learning, artificial intelligence, these things are not absolutely apart from human intelligence. These are augmented intelligence to us. What we can do in small number of set, if we want to do that thing, replicate that thing for billions of data or very complex things, then only we need this kind of things. And we can understand, as because we have 700 crore people in this earth. So if we are talking about a problem which is faced by like millions of people, then we are having these billions of data. Now, if we want to find the pattern out of it, our bare eyes is not enough. That's why we have came up with machine learning, we have came up with data science to utilize the mathematical equations, mathematical algorithm, which can help us to get the complex data out of it and solve those problems. As simple as that. Now, I talk about the software part, the artificial intelligence, data science. What about this like what about these hardware technologies like robotics, IoT, automations, how they are really contributing in this conveyor belt. So I was talking about data. From where you are going to get the data? We have very small amount of data from all the machines in this world, but we need data from all the living being, on the non-living being, all objects on the earth and beyond, if we really want to predict the future. And that is only possible with two technologies, is one is robotics and another is IoT. What is IoT and what is robotics? So robotics is nothing but can you tell me what is the origin of this term robot? Who coined it, or what is the meaning of this term? Anybody? Any idea? Q&A. Okay. Robot plus electronics, robotics. But what I was asking, that was who coined the term robot? What is the meaning of the term? Because see, except human beings, all the other things are named because of their work, right? Karel Capek, yeah. I hope the Capek spelling is a little bit wrong, but anyways, Karel Capek, fine. Yeah. Karel Capek, and can anyone tell me who was Karel Capek? What was his profession?
Are you presenting anything?
No, absolutely not. Yeah. So can anyone tell me what is the meaning of robot, and what was the profession of Karel Capek? Novelist. Fantastic. Artist and novelist. So this is giving validation to my words that I have said. Innovation start from arts. Why? Because in arts we don't have limitations. I can draw a spaceship today, but if I want to implement that thing, I need the ample amount of technology needed for it. So being an artist, being a novelist, being a writer, being a poet, being a painter, you can innovate anything. You don't have any barriers. But when we talk about science and implementations of those imaginations, we have to wait for a certain amount of time to come up with those technologies which can be viable to implement those things. So this robot itself is coming from a novel that is called Rosam's Universal Robot, right? And in 1921, first this term robota was introduced in that Czech novel. And meaning of this word robot, that is coming from a Czech word robota, is substitute of a human servant. So any electromechanical device which is substituting a human servant is a robot. So if it's a physical workshop, I may ask that whether a fan is a robot or not, and I don't know what people will say. So fan is also a robot. Why? If we think about the old movies, or if you have read about old king stories or something like that, we have seen people are standing beside the king with two big hand fans, right? And today we just switch on a fan, and it's give us air, right? So that is how two human servants are substituted with a fan. So fan is also a robot, but fan is a manual robot. Now what is a manual robot? Manual robot is something which can't take decision of its own. Fan don't know when it should on and when it should off. A human need to intervene and take the decision and ask it to do this thing. This kind of robots are called manual robots. Another kind of robots are automatic robot, and how they work, they have very small kind of logical part in it which can take a particular small decision. Like if I put a sensor, the temperature sensor, and a microcontroller. What is a microcontroller? It's a brain of a robot. I will get through all the things in the respective sessions. I'm just going through the overview. It's like a story, right? I'm not talking about technical things. So if I put that microcontroller with that temperature sensor with the fan and code it like with the electromagnetic switch that can be controlled with coding, that switch on the fan when the temperature is less than X, and switch off the fan when the temperature is more than X or something, or the reverse one. This manual fan, this manual robot become an autonomous robot. That's how the robotics things works. It's all about decision making, how we are making decisions. Now how these robotic things are helping us to get data with the sensors. Like we have sensors in each and every gadgets, in our watches, in our water bottles, everywhere, right? But then what was the need of IoT, Internet of Things? We are working with sensors, data, and all those kind of stuff in robotics. We are doing the same thing with the IoT. Then what's the difference? So till IoT was in the picture, so IoT means Internet of Things. So till IoT was in picture, we can get robots data in local machines, and it was very limited access. Not everything, everybody, every people in the world can access those data without anybody's intervention. So what people started thinking that it's not the way we need to do it. We have to do things in a very general purpose way where we can get all the devices data and all the data in a single place. Why? Because they want to predict the future. You don't know. The purpose of Google, purpose of Apple, purpose of Facebook, they want to predict the future. They are collecting data about. I will show certain things of Facebook, Google. You can understand how they are doing this AI things, and that is not bad. Unless they are using this data for bad things, it's not bad. If they are predicting that when a tsunami is going to happen, this is good. If they are predicting when COVID-19 kind of things are again coming, and what kind of things we need to be prepared with, that is good. Right? So it's about the implementation part. So what is the Internet of Things? So we have the robotics. It means the brain who can take decisions. We have the sensors which can sense the real world. Okay, so what is sensor? So sensor is nothing but a device which can convert real world event into digital world data. Temperature, heat, smell, gas, whatever you can think of, right? Whatever you can sense with your senses, it is nothing but a data to a robot. It's just a decimal or float number, as simple as that, right? Light intensity, whatever you're thinking, and you have to map the real world event with the data. That's the work of a sensor. Any kind of sensor, you can take millions of dollars of sensor that is doing the same thing, right? If there is not encoder or something like that, the main purpose of a sensor is to convert the real world event into the digital world event. And we have something called actuator, which is doing the absolutely the opposite one. That is converting digital world data into real world events, like a motor. A motor is send current and it's revolve, and that's why if we attach a wheel with it, a robot moves. So it's a real world event. So that is called an actuator, right? So we were working with the sensors and actuators and getting data from the real world, but we couldn't use those data. So how we can use those data? We have to amalgam another technology with this particular robotics technology, that is called internet. Why internet? Because if we connect the internet with the system, we can get the data from anywhere in the world. That is Internet of Things. But there is one clause, that we are connecting internet with laptop, and laptop can also get certain data from you, right? We are calling you. But is those things are Internet of Things? Yeah, they are part of the Internet of Things ecosystem, but they are saying IoT is nothing but connecting those things with the internet, which is not usually connected with internet. It means if we are connecting a chair with the internet, if we are connecting an agriculture field with the internet, if we are connecting a car with the internet, that is IoT, because those things are not usually connected with internet. Why we are connecting it? Because we need the data to predict the future. If your fitness band is feeding data to, if your fitness band is showing you graphs and charts in an app that you have done workout, your health is like that. So you have to understand those data are going somewhere where it's getting analyzed and you are getting the visuals, and somebody else is also using those data, not for bad things, but for good things only, right? We can hope like that good things only. So this IoT is the end node of this conveyor belt where we are putting coincidence and getting the incident out, right? So we are getting the data from the IoT, and we are sending those data to the server. Those data are going to the data science engineers. They are sanitizing the data, visualizing the data, and coming up with storyboarding and different kind of patterns. Those patterns are going to the machine learning engineers to make algorithms and models out of it that can be taught to machines again to take decisions and predict things and do certain things. That's how these technologies are related to each other. That's why I don't feel single amount of problem working with all this kind of technologies. And so these are the technological part we are going to discuss. And if we talk about the space science, so we recently saw that Starship, right? The Elon Musk is working on Starship, and total 10 Starship landing was failed. But every time Elon Musk and team of SpaceX said that we are not a failure because we got the data we are looking for. Now you can understand how the data is important, and I am telling right, because this data is helping them to make their future landing more accurate. So it's future predictions. It can predict what can happen if you give that amount of thrust to that particular engine, and how to find the best course way to get to the landing zone. That's how this data science, machine learning, AI, robotics, sensors, these all are amalgaming in the space industry. So when I'm talking about space, there is no barriers. Like recently, I was having a talk with my co-founder of Space App India. So it's India's first space-related platform where you can get courses, space-related things, hackathons, and all those kind of stuff in a single place. We already have organized NASA Space App Challenge for last 3 years, and it's very congratulatory moment for Think Again Lab as well for West Bengal, that for the last 2 years the winner of Space App Challenge, NASA Space App Challenge, is from West Bengal, from Kolkata, from Dream Institute of Technology, who is right now leading the space tech domain of Think Again Lab, right? We are working on building some low Earth orbit satellites and all this kind of stuff. Anyways, so he was telling that one of his friend was appointed by European Space Agency in a very interesting profession. So I said, what was the profession? What's her designation? He said he's a psychiatrist. Now, can anybody say me where the space agencies can need psychiatrists? Anybody? Okay, so after some make decisions quickly, not really. They need psychiatrists for the astronauts, those people who are spending exactly mental health of officials. So when they are returning from the International Space Station or some other planet, that's very rare, very rare thing, but mostly from space station after 2-3 months spending over there, they have severe psychiatric problem because they couldn't do whatever they're doing on Earth. There are physiological changes and all those kind of stuff. So every space agency has ample amount of best psychiatrists in this world for the counseling of these homecoming back astronauts. So the space is an industry where every kind of knowledge is needed, right? So recently we have organized a jet propulsion lab tour, the NASA Jet Propulsion Lab virtual tour with the NASA recently, just on the last week. And they were also saying the same thing, that if you ask that which subject, which engineering field is needed for space, then you have to understand you are talking about engineering fields which is created on Earth. So we need certain things that is also not even in Earth. Like the NASA official said to me, they have a particular designation called alien language decipherer. Those people are coming from cryptography, and their work is to decipher whatever kind of signals, whatever kind of text, whatever kind of ancient things they are getting from any places, and there is a relevance of getting any alien touch over there. So this space is something that much interesting, right? So if we only thinking about semesters and getting the degree, we are making our very interesting professions very dull, as well as we are killing the opportunities we can really have in our life. What we should do in these 4 years, along with the semesters and all those, because that is important. I'm not saying that is not important. That is absolutely important. That is the basement. If the base is not there, you couldn't create anything. But along with the base, you have to build certain things where you can stay, right? So if you say like I couldn't get time after doing all the college related thing, it's not true. I also from the same university, I also passed the same university without any backlogs and all those kind of stuff, but I did my internship from my second year. I went to a robotics company as an intern, and I became the research and R&D head of that company within 3 years of working with them. I worked with TCS. I worked. Somebody is unmuted. Can you just mute?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. So I have the so if I can do it, being a very mediocre student from a very middle class family, from a very small town called Bardhaman, coming to Kolkata and staying over there. And the most interesting part, I don't know how many of you are really paying your college bills. I have done it from my second year. I have to. Rather, it's not like I have done it of my choice. Somebody is unmuted. Can you please mute?
Yes, he's having some internet problem, and I have done the necessary things. Please continue, sir.
Yeah. So if I can do it, you guys are much smarter than me. Why? Because you are next generation. I have to accept it, that you have much more prominent gray matter than me. That's evolution, right? So if I can do it, you can do much more better than this. And that should be our aim, that we shouldn't copy, we shouldn't be like someone. Rather, we should be inspired and be like us, because I have many flaws and I don't want you to repeat those flaws. I want you to learn from those flaws and create your new flaws and do certain new things and solve this world's problems. That's the need of the hour, right? Like our innovation index of India was on #1 at certain point of time when we are having Tokyoshila and all this kind of stuff. But it was very less right now, because people are not. We have many innovators, professors and colleges are trying very hard, but still people got a very bad idea. I call this a disease called BSSIN, being a servant syndrome induced by negativity. हमें सबको नौकरी चाहिए, नौकरी मत करो, नौकर बनने में क्या मजा है, काम ढूंढो, डू वर्क, दूसरे कंपनी में करो, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं, जहां you do work wherever you want to do, in your own company, in your father's company, in somebody else's company, wherever you want to do, but do job. Like what happens, I have seen a person is having tremendous knowledge in Java, C++, and all those kind of stuff, but he is joining Wipro as a tech support. Just only the brand is Wipro, and he can say to his relatives that I got a job in Wipro, and he is very satisfied. Why? Because people don't reply back like what you do in Wipro, what you are actually doing there. Yeah, it's a MNC, you are getting a very good package, but what you are doing, if you are doing something that a HS pass student can also do, then you must not be on the right track. You maybe have completed engineering, but you are not using the whole potential of it. And that is the purpose of this 13-week session, that we can give you an overview of the as many as possible technological fields. It's a pilot program. If it's going fine, I hope we can get the opportunity to extend it to some other technologies as well, like AR/VR and several other technologies are there which we work on. But let's start with these technologies, and these are very prominent technologies in today's industry, and learn the technologies from the tech industry perspective. It's not like for the sake of the only certificate I am just attending the workshops and all those kind of stuff. It's about you, and I can write on a stamp paper that after your college, your certificates only are not going to give you job. One thing that can give you job, that is your skills. Even if sometimes you cannot have the certificates, but still you can get a job. Elon Musk, SpaceX, Tesla, Microsoft, Google, Apple, everybody announced that we don't need a certificate, we need people with skills. So if you have a fabulous skill, outstanding skill, you can go and apply. Why? Because you have to understand, suppose you have a company, you are hiring people. Now somebody got 9 point, somebody got 10 point, and somebody got 6 point. Now if you hire the 10 point people, right, and if he don't have a skill that you are requiring, if he or she don't have the skill, if they have, that is great, fine. If they don't have it, then what you are going to do with the 10 point? Rather you will be preferred to recruit that 6 point guy if he or she is having the proper skills you are looking for. Like in Think Again Lab, it's very very, sometimes I say unfortunate, sometimes I say I am very lucky because I am doing what I try to do. I recruit in most of the time college dropout people, people with backlogs, people who didn't got campus interviews, go through the campus interviews, and they are working fine. Like I was talking about the NASA Space App Challenge winner. His name was Anirban Datta. He's from Dream Institute of Technology. He got backlog 2 times resupplies on microcontroller and microprocessor. And what he do in Think Again Lab, he builds robots, full-scaled robots, right? So it's not about what marks you are getting. Yeah, it's important to get into MNC companies and MNC interviews. Don't come to me that sir aapne bole the ke marks zarurat nahi, abhi Wipro mujhe बैठने नहीं दे रहा. That is not my part, right? What I'm saying, that innovation, research, entrepreneurship don't require your certificates. Even if you're college dropout, even if you're school dropout, even if you have not went to school, nobody cares about it. If you have the proper skills to solve certain problems, that is my point. But the thing is, it's very easy to manage both of the thing, like your current curriculum and getting industry ready. How? By doing time slicing. Go to internet, go to Google, write down what is time slicing, how we can manage our time effectively. Time slicing or time boxing is creating boxes out of your schedules, and you have to check that the cat inside the box is never getting the opportunity to go out of the box, and the cat is your task. So suppose you are having 4 hours and you created 3 boxes out of it, 1 hour, 1 hour, 2 hour, and assign 3 tasks in that that particular boxes. Now suppose the first task needs to be finished within 1 hour and you couldn't do it. What you will do in normal cases, if you don't have time boxes, you will extend it. You will do it in 1 hour 40 minutes or 30 minutes. These 40 minutes lag will become 3 hour lag at the end of the day, because this lag will contribute to other task lag as well. So what is time boxing? That if I have assigned 1 hour for a particular task, I will do as much as possible on that task within 1 hour only. 1 hour khatam, but let's get to the next task, and if it's not ended the previous task, allocate another time box for it later on when every time box is free, right? That's how time boxing works. And it's not only the principle I follow, it's followed by Steve Jobs, it's followed by Elon Musk, Warren Buffett, everybody. Because time is something, it's like so suppose you are listening a music. Now if the music, the background music and the vocal is not going in same pitch, same beats, it's don't sound soothing, right? Because we love to hear synchronized, time synchronized things. Beats is nothing but unit of time, right? So if the singing and the musicians are on same beat, then only it is very great to sound. Our life is like that. Your schedules and the time, if they are not synchronized, your task and the time is not there synchronized, then you are living a life which is leading you towards disgust. एक टाइम आएगा जब कुछ नहीं होगा, पेंडिंग के ऊपर पेंडिंग काम्स पड़े हैं, असाइनमेंट्स खत्म नहीं हुआ, वाइवा खत्म नहीं हुआ, तब आप सोचेंगे कि क्या ऑडिट सर बोले थे, क्या इनोवेशन करें, यही काम अभी नहीं हो रहा है. क्यों नहीं हो रहा है? क्योंकि we have not planned for it. We didn't procrastinate about it. We didn't future plan about it. कि मेरे practically speaking, The syllabus given for the semesters takes max to max 2 to 3 months conscious invested time to learn. You have 3 more months to work on different projects. How other people are doing in other states? We have to do it in that way. And if we can really do in that way, trust me, nobody can stop you to get internship, get job. And I am, as a brother, not as a CEO, not as a sir, as a brother, I'm suggesting you at least get your first job by your own self. Otherwise you will become a parasite. Mark my word, if you get your first job by your own self, you will never be dependent on anybody in this world. And how you can do that? If you are doing training, internships, projects, and learning skills during your college life. Many people come to me without any sources or any places. Sir, मैंने ये किया है, ये मेरा CV है, I want to get into your company, क्या करना है? I appreciate them. I call them up. I'll interview though. Let's see if you have the skills. I am open for it, because I bother about only skills, and I don't bother that the university will come to me and collaborate, because that's a longer process thing that will happen later on. But let's make the life of one people a little bit soothing so that they can do what they love to do. And we have very less amount of time, like 30 minutes more, I think. Still, I am going to get into 2 more points in this thing. Like, we have covered several other things within this 12-day session, like graphics design, UI, UX. We have digital media marketing, because it's not only about building products. Why Indian products don't get the opportunity to get into the global market? Because we don't have aesthetic sense. We don't know, we have better quality product. The quality of the product is very great in India, but we lack in showing it. The aesthetics, how it looks, the look and feel of the system. If you hold the Apple phone, you can understand. We don't know about the ingredients of that Apple phone, but when you hold it, you can understand it's an expensive thing from its outside appearance, right? So if you want to get into those things in product development, we need all these things: graphics design, UI, UX. Even we need this graphics design, UI, UX for our web and website designing and website development as well. And I'm not getting into this website designing and development today, because this is a very common thing to each and everybody. Now, 2 more interesting things that I want to discuss today. That is, one is digital media marketing. So we have to understand that it's not like only MBA students will do the digital media marketing. Only marketing, okay, fine. Only MBA student will do. Engineers can do everything. They can also do, right? But digital media marketing persons should have a very great technological brains as well, along with the marketing brain. And in this context, engineers are the perfect fit, because we already have a managerial brain. That's why we can organize mass bunks and all those kind of stuff. Very sorry to HOD ma'am and VC sir, but I am also a student till now. So I am just talking in that way. So we have to utilize those marketing and those influencing brain along with the technological intelligence to let people know about products and services through the digital medium. Like, you all spend time over Facebook. I also spend time over Facebook, and I got paid lakhs of rupees to do that thing, and you pay your internet bills. That's the difference. After you know the digital media marketing, you can also spend time on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and you can earn money out of it. And it's not a gambling. You have to put real efforts, do certain things like campaigning, creating content, because these are the future professions as well. We have to understand it's not about only the core fields like robotics and all those kind of stuff. We are going to have millions of influencers, social media influencers, as a full-time professions within coming 5 years. Even we are also building a platform where influencers can get connected with companies to get promotional activities and all those kind of stuff. So digital media marketing is also a very, very, very prominent field. So if we guys can get an idea that robotics क्या होता है, IoT क्या होता है, artificial intelligence क्या होता है, digital media marketing क्या होता है, we can decide कि कौन से तरफ जाना है. हम लोग when we buy a thing from e-commerce platform, suppose we are buying a t-shirt, or if we are going to a mall and buying a t-shirt, we give 2-time trials, right? That कैसे दिख रहा है. But when we are choosing a job, we are not giving a trial. We are just directly just get landing on the job on the first day. We don't know what we have to do. We are giving your university along with Think Again Lab as much as possible. We are trying our level best. Your university is putting so much effort to give you this platform and these opportunities that you can try these fields before getting into the job. Let's have a sip of every cup and decide which tastes the most. And you have to get drink this cup of coffee for your whole life. So it's better to taste it before landing on those cups. It's very much important. And lastly, the last topic I'm going to discuss, and this is the most favorite topic of mine, because this is the reason of lack of job, lack of internship, lack of projects, and all these things. That is online reputation management. What is online reputation management and why it is important? Online reputation management is a study, or is a field which is actually responsible for how people will see you in online media. And how it's important: if you go to any prominent company nowadays, even if your college is doing the campusing and all those kind of stuff, the company do AI analysis of your LinkedIn profiles, of your Facebook profiles, of your Instagram profiles. Why? Because you can write lie on your CV, but you couldn't live a life of lie, right? So if I am analyzing your LinkedIn profile that you are using for last 3 years, from there I can get what you think, what is your mindset, what is your mentality, who you are actually. It was usually happen before with handwriting. Many companies was there before like 1990s, or at that point of like 2000. They ask, even if you have a digital copy of your CV, come up with a letter written by your hand, because there are few experts, handwriting expert, who can just read out your handwriting and understand what is your character is. And that thing is right now happening with AI, with LinkedIn. And if you are engineer, if you want to be self-sufficient of getting a job, doing entrepreneurship, opening up a business, doing networking, become an innovator, freelancer, these social media platforms are the golden places for you. And we have to use these social media platforms like our voter ID card. So we don't just put up lipstick and we just don't put up makeup and go and take the picture for voter card, right? Because that's a professional thing. So this LinkedIn profile, your Facebook profile, your Instagram profile, you have to treat it like a professional thing, not a personal thing. If you can, it's very tough. But if you can go to my LinkedIn page, my Facebook page, my Instagram, the time you will drop into my profile, you can understand who I am, what I do, what I am good at. So if you are looking for a job, suppose you ping me up, right, in LinkedIn, sir, I am looking for a job. If I am having free time, I don't reply in that kind of text, even if you are not writing something that is interesting. But still, if I go to your profile and see that there is nothing, you were just casually opened a LinkedIn account and you are just poking me up. Why should I be interested about you? Because you are already, you are itself not interested about you. We entrepreneurs, we startups, and we innovation companies are not looking for 9-to-5 engineers. We are looking for people who live a life of an engineer. It means few people are there, they only learn and do the work they are doing only to 5 o'clock. But we don't want this kind of workforce, and this is not going to work in future, right? What we have, what we want, we actually want people who can think like an engineer throughout the 24/7, and that's highly needed. And how we can understand that? If you are creating enough content about this kind of technologies, in your social profiles. And in this online reputation management, I am going to teach you that how you can really work on your social profiles, what needs to be there, what don't needs to be there, how to do networking over social media, how to get an internship, how to get a job without anybody's help through LinkedIn and different platforms, right? So these things are very much important that you need to figure out. And I'm personally requesting each and everybody that attend whatever technology domain you like. First of all, it's free. Second of all, your university is giving you an opportunity to prove that you guys are actually liking what you're talking about, that we want to learn different things, we want to be industry oriented, we want to get a job, we want to be an entrepreneur. For that reason, these workshops are highly interesting. And if you think that online में robotics का क्या सीखेंगे, rocket science का क्या सीखेंगे, I bet you, if after doing the workshop you don't like it, come to me and say, because we have simulation platforms where you can build real robotics projects, automation projects, do the programming, simulate it, run it, build rockets, fly it. So mostly each and every session, you are actually going to learn things by seeing projects, by doing projects, even if you can do it sitting at your home, if you are getting laptops or something like that. So it's an earnest request to all the students, don't take it casual. We all are doing it for you. Now if you are not taking it serious, and if you are not utilizing these 12 weeks, it's your loss. And if you can utilize these 12 weeks, then the university and we can think something better than this, which can be helpful for you to get into the industry, right? So that is more or less what we have need to discuss today. Now we are having like 25 minutes, 20 minutes, so I can open up for questions and I can answer those questions. Is that okay, ma'am? Is that is anything else you anybody wants me to discuss?
Anandita ma'am?
Yes. Now student can interact.
So from the participants, students, please raise your hand so that we can take your questions directly to the panel, sir. Nirvik Sarkar. Nirvik Sarkar, please unmute your mic. Yes.
Yes, sir. Am I audible?
Yeah.
So, a few minutes ago, you just talked about how we can get a job from our LinkedIn profile, but it also matters how we are engaged with our subject and how our LinkedIn profile is. For example,
Exactly.
you just said that no one would like to interact with a person who has just opened his LinkedIn profile under peer pressure, just because his colleagues are also having such a LinkedIn profile. But what does
Yeah.
a CEO or employer of a company see in a person like us, their LinkedIn
uh,
profiles?
I don't know about other people, but I can say what I see. I always go for the posts, because see, because I have also built it bit by bit, I know that you can go and put down your achievements and all those kind of stuff in a one day. But if I really want to see that you are actually living a life of an electrical engineer or CSE engineer or IT engineer or React.js developer, particularly, if I go to your article feed, I can understand which kind of articles you are sharing, where you are commenting, what you are posting, and all this kind of stuff. So content, what kind of contents you are producing in the social media platform, that will give me a overview that what kind of person you are and what technology you are actually working in. Am I clear?
Yes, so.
Yeah.
Next, we have Sovik Samantha. Sovik Samantha, please unmute your mic. Sovik Samantha, please unmute your mic and please ask your question. Sovik Samantha. Moving to next, Alif Mondal. Alif Mondal, if you have any questions or if you have any query, please unmute your mic. Alif Mondal, unmute your mic. Next, we have Anjan Pal. Anjan Pal, if you have any question, please unmute your mic. Anjan Pal.
Yes, sir. Hello.
Yeah.
I don't have any questions, sir.
Okay. Okay, so till then we are getting somebody to speak on the question answer. Let's pick up some question answer from previous places where they have given it. Is there any interview process to join the internship? Is there any interview process to join the internship? Yeah, obviously. If you're talking about Think Again Lab, that's also true. If you're talking about other companies, that's also true. Internship is you can say it's a pseudo job, right? And in case of Think Again Lab, it's not a pseudo job. It's a research-based, full-time research-based work, right? If you are joining Think Again Lab, whatever you are learning in 3 months or 6 months of internship, you are not going to learn that thing in job for 1 year. That's for sure, right? Next is how can we learn all those subjects step by step. You guys have started on first year, I started on class 6, so I got a very long period of time. I was the most youngest student in Brainwag to complete software engineering in class 6, C, C++, Java and Linux. So when I get into engineering, still my 3rd and 4th year all the syllabus were completed, right? But on the contrary, it's not like that I have started from class 6, that's why I can do it. Till then I learn new things, right? So it's not, I have started earlier, so I can do many things. You have started a little bit late, so you can you will take a little bit more amount of time. But you can start from today to learn things and try to find patterns rather than memorize things. Don't memorize things, otherwise you cannot do it, right? So okay, is there any process of the, okay, how can it help me? Okay, how can it how to join the internship? I want to join. We will talk to the university HOD and VC, HOD ma'am and VC sir and Anita ma'am, that how we can carry forward this thing. We have open positions in internships, so we can talk about that. I want to join, but how to join this? Yeah, I have answered it. How can help it? Okay, as a civil engineer, it is necessary this class like robotics and data science. If you want to stay in civil engineering, then obviously no. If you want to stay in civil engineering, then robotics and data science is not important. But if you want to switch the career later on, or you have a passion of robotics, but somehow for the rank or something you have to get into civil, then you can join those sessions. How to advertise your business and advertise your product and services. So I am going to answer this question on digital media marketing workshop. We have it on these 12 days. It's a very long question, right? So that's why I couldn't answer this thing right now. Dada, can you get your contact details? Go to any social media. My name is Arijit Hajra, ARIJITHAJRA. I am there in each and every social media. Just go and ping. If you want to talk professional things, go to LinkedIn. If you want to talk anything related to your life that is not professional, come to Facebook. Okay, we are having certain in mechanical engineering, which file we work hard. File, which field? Okay, in mechanical engineering, mechatronics is also some kind of robotics, right? So robotics is a field. Secondly, designs, engineering designs. Trust me, whenever I start in product development, the first thing I start, that is engineering design. That's why, being a computer science student, I learned engineering design in last 1 year, that I can by myself do 3D designs and all those kind of stuff. Because if I couldn't show people what I'm thinking, how my team can build the thing, right? So engineering design is one of the preliminary way to build products. So go for engineering design, it has a very prominent career. Okay. The date of starting, university will let you know about this artificial intelligence. I am from BCA, so what is important to me, if you are from BCA, more or less everything is important to you. I hope you will enjoy all the sessions, but still you can skip the robotics part or something like that, because that's a hardware if you don't have a interest in hardware domain. Okay, how can I clear each field is best? I like an web development, but data science is more demanded. You can take part in both of the thing, but one thing, don't learn a thing because it's demanded. Learn the thing because you love it, because you have to spend with that particular thing for coming 30 years. So it's very important that you love that thing. Okay. Robotics, how can I feel best? Okay, AI and online reputation management. What can I learn? AI and online reputation management. You can how can I learn AI and online reputation management? For that reason, you have to join the session. Can biology background students do this course? Yes, you can take a part. And there is always the option to leave, right? If you're not feeling interested, you can leave, but you are getting an opportunity, so take the opportunity. I am doing electrical engineering. Is it okay to choose space science or robotics for me? Absolutely. In mechanical engineering, which field? Okay, I have more or less answered. Okay, so we are having, is basic electrical subjects important for CSE engineering? I didn't get your question, so Shreya De, if you want to ask the question, you can unmute and clarify the question. Pharmacy students take this course. Few online reputation management, make yourself interview ready. Digital media marketing, you can take those courses. In CSE department, which event we should choose? Every department, every event. For CSE, you can go for every event. In basically, okay, how can I join the workshop? Your university will give all the details how you can join. What are the IoT based things we will be learning in this course? In case of IoT, as because it's online, it's very difficult to show any simulation of IoT because internet and the communication part is there. But still, I am trying that we can do certain IoT things in physical and show you all the things in live, right? I am trying to do that thing. Otherwise, we are going to learn about the IoT ecosystem, what are the different parts and how these things are working and how we can get the data, plot those things as a graph and chart and all those kind of stuff. Okay, how to join Android development workshop? University will tell everything that how we can join different workshops. We have this Android development workshop, so you can join. That 1 week is not enough for one topic. For example, robotics or data science, or in webinar, do you give us also a practical knowledge, because it's very important for us. So the thing is, it's a pilot program and it's not happening for 1 week. Every week, once, one day, right, to give you an overview and let you understand whether you are having interest in that domain or not. If this pilot program works well, then we can have a collaborative discussion with the university and respected VC sir, HOD ma'am, that how we can take this carry forward and go for the advanced classes, hands-on training, and complete workshop, master classes, and all those kind of stuff. How to join internship in civil engineering? Same thing. Get connected with people on LinkedIn. HR, company founders, managers are sitting there in LinkedIn for resources. They are paying money to get resources. I am telling you, you are not finding jobs, they are not finding candidate. You just need to bridge the gap. How to join the internship? Already told. Is the entrepreneurship workshop will be limited to the technical and robotics related domains only? Not really. Everybody can join. In this 12-week course are free of cost. Yes. Time and date for webinar, that will be disclosed. The training of the entrepreneurship, so much good. I learned advanced technology and many more things from entrepreneurship. Fantastic. LinkedIn accounts are compulsory for job. Yes, but Facebook sometimes tells lie. Actually, persons do lie in Facebook. I have found many of them. How can anybody judge if he writes lies in social profiles on first impression. Uh, I personally don't like liars, right? If you don't know, you don't know. If you know, you know, because liars are very dicey things to handle. I am very afraid of liars, so I take that thing in a very negative way. Details related to certificate will be shared by, okay, fine. How do I get a certificate? Okay. More or less, I have completed things. Okay. Excuse me, sir. I want to ask something. Okay. So much of questions. Will the internship come after the workshop? Yes. Is this offline or online? Online. Excuse me, sir. I want to ask something. Rudra Devnath, you can unmute and ask. Shubhankar Ghosh, in this, how many days we will get to learn from this workshop? How many days? I didn't get your question. Okay. Please say the steps to become drug inspector. I don't know about it, so I don't want to talk about it because that's not my domain. Okay. AI is for electrical engineering. See, I have seen many electrical engineers writing Java codes after completing their college. So from this point of time, where you are in colleges, we couldn't decide your fate. Maybe after 5 years on Joe's talks, you will say that I was an electrical engineer, and after doing a workshop, I was got inspired for AI and become an AI engineer, and right now I'm giving my TEDx or Joe's talks. Right? Who can say? So I couldn't decide from this point of time. How to joining internship etc. It will be shared by the university. uh, what we are about to learn in graphics design, you are going to learn color theory, you are going to learn the color emotions, typography, negative space effect, how to make things which people love, what is heat map theory, and several kind of theory and practicals. And you don't need to install any software, but you will build logos, flyers, brochures, all kind of marketing materials, certificates, social media graphics, everything. So we have simulation platform for those things as well, and you can use it free of cost from your home. Okay, I am not getting the option to get unmuted. I don't know you, sir. Somebody.
Rudranath, Devnath, please unmute your mic. It is from your end.
Yes, yes, sir. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Yes, sir, I want to ask that is it compulsory to learn AutoCAD for an CS student?
Civil student or CSE student?
CS student, computer engineering.
Civil or CSE?
Computer engineering.
No. AutoCAD is absolutely not mandatory. And even if you are learning, it's not more or less aligned to your career. But if you want to become entrepreneur, then it can be good for you to develop products or something like that. But AutoCAD is field of mechanical or civil or architectural engineering.
And sir, can I make a linked account now only?
Yeah, absolutely. See, there is never late, right? If you're starting from this moment, it's the right moment. Because if you're thinking that I have already done late, you are already wasting 10 minutes more. So go and open up this thing right now and start sharing thing, commenting with people. So let me share a very good thing in this particular topic. How to build network, right? Okay. Let's keep it for that day. We don't have that much time.
Sir, I have a question, sir.
Yeah. Please go ahead.
Currently, I'm working as an Android developer. So, sir, which is possible for switch, sir? It will be become a Flutter or a Android native or a Android manual tester, sir.
This is the era of Flutter and React Native. So the way Flutter is growing and Flutter is creating more and more components and different libraries. So I will personally ask you to be in either Flutter or React Native, because those are very outstanding technology. I personally love them so much.
Sir, if my DL asks me that which technology are you want to work, sir, which I choose, sir?
So I didn't hear you.
if my senior asks me which technology are you want to use, so sir, what I give
Flutter. It's obviously Flutter or React Native. Flutter or React Native, because those are component-based frameworks. That's very important for debugging, maintenance, and scaling up a project.
Because sir, when I am working Android, so sir, my senior approaching me that try to learn Flutter because Android is currently a platform independent, sir.
Absolutely. And Android is not component based, and when we are talking about scalability of an app or a project, it needs to be component based. And I will discuss about this thing on the Flutter workshop. It's not like that we are going to teach everything about Flutter in that thing, but we will understand why Flutter. I will personally answer this question, that why Flutter, right? Because of component based framework. When we are just chopping things in a very small parts, it's very easy to change them, debug them, and reuse them. That's the point where Flutter is so much popular.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, somebody asked that, is there any 3D design and analysis part in this course? Yeah, we have it, but we didn't include it in this particular session. Let's do the pilot program. If it's working fine, we can have another session like this where we can include this 3D design, 3D printing, and all those kind of stuff. We have these domains. We are working on these domains, because if we are innovating with robotics and artificial intelligence and all those kind of stuff, we need 3D printing. So right now we don't have it in this particular 12-day session, but we have other courses in 3D design and thinking. No option for unmute. Sorry to say, we have the limited time. However, it's a very good topic. Thank you so much. Which are best for background student? I have already told. Account in judge me or activity means. Fine, sir. Can you please unmute once again? Yeah, Rudro Depnas is asking to unmute once again.
Am I audible?
Yeah.
So another question, in LinkedIn, can I learn some new things, means free of cost, means new web development and another things?
I didn't get your question. Can you just go again?
Sorry, sir. I was just asking that can I learn new things from the LinkedIn, from my LinkedIn account by interacting with other entrepreneurs?
Absolutely, and that's the best way to learn. And even if you start spending time in LinkedIn, you will come and give me a thank you, because you don't need to go to YouTube. You will get all your contents over there, you will get all your connections over there, and the first day you will get your job by your own self. You will just ping me up and say thank you, because that day you will feel that much confident that nothing has given you that confidence in your life.
Thank you so very much. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So we are running short of time.
Yeah.
So I have something to announce. Dear students, we will have the next session at the same time from the next week onwards. And the webinar links will be shared beforehand. All of these sessions will be hands-on training session, not just theoretical classes. And thank you very much, Orijit, for your patience and for your nice delivery. Hoping for the best session onwards. So we are just going to end this session.
Yeah. Thank you so much, VC sir, HOD ma'am, and Anindita ma'am, for giving me the pleasure to interact with so many people. It's a large audience, 619 people. That's an unbelievable audience. Thank you so much to give both of us the opportunity to interact, and hopefully we can reach to a certain very creative point. Ma'am, your mic is mute.
So now we can end the session. So all the best.
Yeah, absolutely, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you so much, all the faculties and HOD.